Hey everyone, and welcome back. Have you ever wondered how you can bend your knees, twist your wrist, or nod your head? It's all thanks to some incredible structures in our body called joints. Today we are going to take a deep dive into the fascinating world of our joints. So, what exactly is a joint? Simply put, it's where two or more bones meet. But not all joints are created equal. Different joints allow for different amounts and type of movement. And that's what makes our body so versatile. Ready to explore? Let's get started. Broadly speaking, our bodies have three main types of joints: immovable joints, partially movable joints, and the ones we are most familiar with, freely movable joints. First up, let's talk about immovable joints. As the name suggests, these joints don't move at all. Think of them as the super glue of our skeleton. The bones are held together so tightly by strong fibers that they are completely fixed in place. A perfect example is the joints between the different plates of our skull. When you were a baby, these bones had small gaps, but as you grew, they fused together to form a solid protective case for your brain. Another surprising example is where your teeth sit in their sockets in your jaw. Because they are held together by fibers, these are also called fibrous joints. They provide stability and strength where we need it most. Next, we have a partially movable joints. These guys allow for a little bit of wiggle room, but not a full range of motion. The bones in these joints are connected by a tough, flexible tissue called cartilage. The best example of this is your spine. Your backbone is not uh, one solid bone, it's made up of many small bones called vertebrae. In between each vertebra is a disc of cartilage. These discs allow for slight movements like bending and twisting, and they also act as amazing shock absorbers, protecting your spine when you run or jump. Another example is where your rib connect to your breastbone. This slight movement is crucial for allowing your chest to expand and contract when you breathe. So while they are not as mobile as other joints, they play a vital role in both flexibility and protection. Now for the main event, freely movable joints. These are the joints that allow us to perform all the big movements we do every day, also known as synovial joints. They are the most common type of joints in our body. You can find them in your shoulder, hips, elbow, knees, wrist, and ankles. What makes them so special? Well, several things. First, the end of the bones in these joints are covered with a super smooth layer of cartilage, which helps reduce friction almost like ice gliding on ice. Second, the entire joint is enclosed in a little capsule, and inside this capsule is a special liquid called the synovial fluid. This fluid acts like oil in an engine, lubricating the joints to make every movement incredibly smooth and effortless. The whole structure is then reinforced by strong bands called ligaments, which hold the bones together and prevent them from moving too far in the wrong direction. But wait, there is more. Freely movable joints themselves come in several different varieties, each designed for a specific type of movement. Let's start with ball and socket joints. These are the champions of movement, allowing motion in all directions: forward, backward, sideways, and full rotations. Your shoulders and hip joints are perfect example. This is why you can swing your arm in a big circle or do the splits if you are flexible enough. Then we have a hinge joint. Just like the hinge on a door, these joints only allow movement in one direction, back and forth. Think about bending your knee or your elbow. You can bend them and straighten them, but you can't really move them from side to side. Your finger and toes also have hinge joints. Next are the pivot joints. These joints are all about rotation. A great example is the joint at the very top of your spine, right below your skull. This joint allows you to turn your head from side to side, as if you are shaking your head no. It's a pivot point that lets one bone rotate around another. We also have what are called the gliding joints. Here the surface of the bones are flat or only slightly curved, allowing them to slide over one another. You can find these in your wrist and ankles, giving them that extra bit of flexibility. They are also found where your collarbone meets your breastbone. Finally, there are angular or ellipsoid joints. These are a bit like a ball and socket but more limited. They allow movement in two directions, like back and forth and side to side, but they don't allow for full rotation. Your wrist joint is a fantastic example. You can bend your wrist up and down and wave it from side to side. Of course, with all this movement, joints can sometimes face problems like injuries or disease. A very common one you might have heard of is arthritis. This is a condition where the smooth cartilage in the joints gets worn down or damaged, which can cause pain and stiffness. That's why it's so important to take care of our joints through regular, safe exercise and a healthy diet. So, there you have it, a tour of amazing joints that keep us moving. From the solid joints in our skull to the super flexible one in our shoulder. Each one has a unique and vital job. I hope you find this interesting and learned something new about your incredible body. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content just like this. See you in the next one.